Hey guys, Spence here. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about prioritizing what you need to get right with your food. So Jen Woodhouse asked me a really great question last week. So what happens if things go wrong and you can't hit your carbohydrate target or you can't hit your fats as well as hitting your calories, which is the most important? So probably a question that a few of you have wondered. So here is my response, and here's the hierarchy of needs of a WDN dieter. So first at the very top is calories. Okay, so your calorie targets are set for you personally by me to get to the body weight that you want to be at. So that's the very first thing. If you don't hit those, you're going to be going in a slightly wrong direction. So calories come first. Next one may surprise you. I would prioritize protein. So I know I kind of say that carbohydrates is the most important thing, and I don't give much weight to the total amount of protein that you need to be hitting, mainly because most people over-egg it when they start when they start training. They think that protein is this magical thing that's going to fix everything for you. It's just not, you know. But that said, if you're not hitting your minimum targets or your optimal targets, then you're really going to struggle with everything else. Okay, so protein comes second. Then I would say carbohydrate availability. So carbohydrate availability, it's not just carbohydrates per day. So I'll give you an example of how you may still be able to hit your carbohydrate target but get your availability slightly wrong. So for instance, if you're going to hit up a really hard session on a Monday night and then you're going to hit another really hard session on a very early Tuesday morning, and you've used up all of your carbohydrates very early on Monday, and then you don't have any carbohydrates before after your session on a Monday night, and then no carbohydrates before your really hard session on a Tuesday. So you've got two hard sessions back to back and no carbohydrates in between them. You're really going to struggle to perform. And even if you're hitting up like a weight loss or fat loss target, putting two back to back like that is not optimal. Okay, so some of you, as you know, when we're trying to achieve fat loss, what we might do is have one really hard session on a Monday night, or any night, but an example might be a really tough session on a Monday night, and then we not refeed you with your carbohydrate after that. Then we have a light session the following morning, something like a walk or a light jog, and then refeed your carbohydrate after that. We might do that, but we would never do two back to back. So you need some carbohydrate available when you're hitting up a hard session. Next after that would come essential fat. So I did a video on this a few weeks back. If you haven't seen it, I'd highly suggest you dig it out, because hitting your essential fats, because of the nature of the type of training that we all do, it causes quite a lot of inflammation in us. Now, I don't suggest that we all just smash in loads of inflammatory foods, because the inflammation we have is actually good for us to get a training response. But what I would suggest is you get the right kind of balance of omega-3 to omega-6 fatty acids. So the right sort of balance is around 4 to 1. Is around 1 to 4, or anything around that kind of number is much better. Whereas, as we discussed in that video previously, that most people in the UK are taking on board around 22 to 1 omega-6 to omega-3. So the wrong kind of balance. Next, I would say protein. So I would say food sourcing would come next. So we've got calories, we've got protein, we've got carbohydrate availability, good sources of fat, so essential fatty acids, particularly the omega-3s, and getting plenty of them against the total number of omega-6s. Then, after that, we would have food sourcing. So making sure that we are getting good, lean quality proteins, making sure that we are getting good quality foods, because otherwise, everything that we're putting into us, whilst we're getting sort of the numbers in, if you like, we might be taking on a few other things that we don't necessarily need. So organic is good, or just well-sourced local food. And finally, timing. Okay, so we just discussed carbohydrate timing. Your fats is not really such an issue. You can get those in whenever you want, but protein does become an issue only when the timing of your protein, that is, does become an issue only when you're in a large caloric deficit. So those of you who are on low calories trying to drop weight, you need to spread your protein out over the course of the day. Anyway, I hope that was helpful. But guys, I'm here for you. I want you to answer me loads of questions so I can give you loads more info back. But I don't know what it is that you want until you tell me. Now I'm going to guide the way. I'm going to take you to where you need to be over the next few months. And I'm pretty inspired after watching the CrossFit Games at the regionals at the Meridian of where we all need to go, and actually learned a few tricks and tips off some of the athletes there, speaking to them and their coaches about how to get there. But not just for those of you who are into CrossFit, but for rugby players, for MMA fighters, all across the board. Anyway, guys, hope you're all good. Don't forget to check in. Peace.